21 years old. Porter Hodge, 24, now on the IL, but they have got some youngsters. So the Cubs have their own fountain of youth. Do you know the Spanish explorer who went to Florida looking for the fountain of youth?
You've been there, right?
Yeah, St. Augustine, Florida. Yeah, great little place. Ponce de Leon, okay? So the Cubs, they're searching for their fountain of youth. They have it. When we find it, we're going to jump in, Ryan. Okay, jumping in, though, with what the Cubs have. So we just kind of highlighted the younger players, the position players in particular. You always like that mix of veteran and younger players. What do the younger players the Cubs have, they offer, and what's the benefit when they can be playing at this age?
Well, I mean, I think you just bring that electric spark, right? I mean, I think PCA, for one, we all know what he can do. But I think when you look at PCA, and not that all positions aren't equal, but you have a center fielder, you have a Maya in the catcher, and then Shaw at third base, where you need these guys to perform day in and day out. Dare I say, back in 14 and 15, when Baez, Soler, and Bryant and Schwarber and those guys were coming up, now it's like the changing of the guards, right? Those guys won it in 2016. Now you have PCA, Amaya, Shaw coming up. You had Ballesteros that, like you said, got a little taste, a cup of coffee at 21 years old. And I mean, I think these guys, look, it takes a little time to figure out who you are and where you fit in the big leagues. But PCA, we're seeing that. These guys figured it out. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but I think especially for Ballesteros, when he comes back, it's that experience, right? It's like, now I'm going to go down, I'm going to work even harder, and I'm going to come back. So these position players, I think, being a veteran guy later on in my career, when you have these younger guys, it also makes you want to play harder. Totally. Right? I think you see these guys and you're like, dang, I don't want him to take my spot, so I'm going to go out there and I'm going to play harder. So I think it's good all around for all the guys, the younger guys, to get the experience, and then for the veteran guys that they can learn from Turner, who is 40 years old, and they can still have that fountain of youth.
I think to the point that you just mentioned, though, I feel like whenever they bring up like a Moises or a Cade, and you can tell me from your experience, but when you are the older guys, and that's why I like the mix of veteran and younger players, is they add this hunger. Like, that they're up there, they want to prove what they can do and show who they are. And so that's kind of like, you feed off of that young energy, like, let's go.
Well, and they add the flair, too. Right? I mean, you have that little, not to be like the old guy in the room, but there's a lot more flair going on these days. So, I think all around, it's just...
Miguel Amaya, we forget that he's still young.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. When you have guys that have been in the big leagues for a few years and they're only 24 years old, I mean, think about what this guy's going to do when he's 30 years old. And he's starting to figure out with the bat. He calls a good game. He's been great behind the plate. So you can just tell every year he builds that confidence. And at the plate, to me, he looks like a totally different player this year. And we saw it yesterday. He had a walk in his first at-bat, and then next two at-bats, even though he walked in his first at-bat, first pitch homer, first pitch triple. I mean, he has an idea what he's trying to do at the plate and what the pitcher's trying to do to him.
Yeah, and he stays aggressive, and there's that confidence there this year. I think that's part of what you're saying, which is he looks like a completely different person. Then it comes to the pitchers on this team. So I mentioned Cade Horton. He gets brought up. Ben Brown has been up. Daniel Palencia has been brought up. So even when we talk about last night, for instance, I mean, keep in mind, this is also a young pitcher in a big situation. They've got to learn, and that's what they're doing right now.
And I think the good thing for them is look, not that they wouldn't be here already on their own, but they've kind of been forced to be here early because of the Shota, because of the Steele injury. So when you look at that, it's almost like, hey, these guys have some time in the minor leagues, but they're learning how to be a starter at the big leagues. Yeah, Ben Brown struggled a little bit yesterday, but he's had some good outings. But what is that going to do? That's going to build him for the future to know when I get put in that situation, okay, I know that I can get out of it and I can just grow from that. So these guys being 23, 24 years old and learning in the big leagues, like I said, when they get 28, 29 years old, these guys are going to be solid, middle of the rotation guys that can help the Cubs win.
And I also even look ahead to the end of this season, right? Like you want to put Daniel Palencia, that's why you're trying him in a spot like that. Can you pitch in that high leverage situation? Like they want to know. Ben Brown, he's trying to prove that I belong in this rotation. I want to stay here. Cade Horton, keep me up. I don't want to go back down.
And I think when you look at a guy that's a closer, like I want a dude pumping 101.
Yeah.
Palencia is that guy.
Even 102 if you need
exactly.
it. I mean,
he is that guy. And that's why I think the Cubs will give him more opportunities, because if he can keep the ball in the strike zone, like he said yesterday, he missed his spot, right? So big league hitters capitalize on when you make mistakes. So he's like, basically, I just can't make that mistake again. So he figured that out. He's able to learn from that. So maybe his short-term growing pains will help to long-term results.
Exactly. And that's all you can hope is that you learn to get better from it. You know who has found the fountain of youth?
I think I do.
You do? Who are you thinking of?
Well, Carson Kelly has been absolutely raking.
And Matthew Boyd is going to be on that list as well. I mean, you know, even Carson Kelly said the other day on our set, man, it's been a long time coming. This guy has been putting in the work.
Yeah, we know that these guys are good. Look, injuries, whatever it may be with Boyd, but look, I think a change of scenery sometimes too helps as well. I mean, you just see here to be young again, right? Third straight game with 7+ Ks. I mean, Kelly's been absolutely raking all year. I mean, him and Amaya together have been one of the best catching duos in the big leagues.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, Kelly's not that old.
I was going to say, if this is our finding the fountain of youth, send help. My gosh. Better be relative to like Moises Ballesteros.
Good Lord, just wait till they hit 40.
Yeah. Speaking from,
but I mean, even Boyd. I mean, he's that guy that I think the Cubs known that was in there, but he's just had so many injuries, and this year it's like they got lucky, and he's putting it together.
Well, you know what? No coincidence. Both of them have been through their share of injuries, and like that is probably why they have found the fountain of youth. All right, we're going to throw it back now because here we talked about Ponce de Leon and searching for that fountain of youth. We found it. Yeah, we found it. We found Daniel Ponce de Leon up against Anthony Rizzo. Do you remember this? June 11, 2021, opening day 2.0, 14 pitch at bat, ends in a bomb ski. Rizzo fouled off 10 pitches. I was there on the sideline. This is probably one of the coolest games that I've ever covered.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a cool at bat. I mean, opening day, standing ovation.
It was insane.
Transition from the Conquistadors to the Ponce de Leon that he hit
the fountain of youth.
I don't know. I feel like we got to get a better picture than that. But
you think there's a better one?
It's like a wood statue that we just carved out.
You got one of those? You got one of those handy? Yeah. Well, in the meantime, we'll keep searching. It appears that the Cubs maybe have found some of that fountain of youth. All right.